Hi guys, we're going to be talking about Russell Bowen, who was born on the 29th of December 1991, is an English man who disappeared from West Ala, East Ridden of Yorkshire, England on the 22nd of March 2010. Many theories have been put forward regarding his disappearance, with the police summary that he killed himself or met with an accident where his family mentioned that a third party was involved in disappearance. Repeated appeals for a witness to come forward. Bowen disappeared remains unsolved. We'll get on to the day of his disappearance. On the morning of 2nd of March 2010, Bonin left the family home at West Al to attend British Burton College in Beverley, where he was studying bricklaying. It is not known if he actually attended college that day, but his Clio was found 45 miles away from Betterton Cliff, near the former Royal Air Force bunker at Betterton on the East Yorkshire coast. Boland's car was noted by the RSPB worked at 5 p.m. on the 2nd of March 2010, and it was still there when the workers returned the next morning. It had a ticker on it was purchased a full day of parking, having been bought at 11:30 a.m. on the morning of the 2nd of March. In the intel search of the area, the former RAF bunker was checked for living humans only, some things that Bowen's family would go on to criticise. The Humberside Fire Rescue Service (HF) and RS undertook the first search using heat-sensitive cameras and torches, which would be ineffective if Bowen was dead at this point. Firefighters went back and as a training exercise. They conducted a more detailed search of the bunker in December 2012. When this search was conducted, Bowen's family was present at the briefing and stayed there for the full 3 hours that the HFRS were inside the bunker. This search cost the family £1,200 for the bunker to be opened up, and it is being sealed because of legal use. Search was also undertaken of the land around the bunker of Betterton Cliff, which is a known suicide spot. The Coast Guard also helped by searching at sea. And from the Air Force, Boland's family later started a court proceeding regarding the thoroughness of the search, but the case was thrown out when the recording president over the case said that it was not up to the court to determine whether or not an investigation has been handled well. Search was also carried out at the Boland's family holiday home at Riverscar in North Yorkshire. 2 years after the Boland's disappearance, his family found his best pair of training shoes at the holiday home, which they are convinced he was wearing on the day he disappeared. The police were eager to determine what Bowen's movements were. 3 days before his disappearance, he had left the home and returned without informing anyone of where he had been or what had been done. Investigating later established that he had visited York, Bradford, and Burton, but no indication of why or what he did there. It emerged that Bolin had logged onto an RAF Burton web, website at 7:30 on the morning of his disappearance. He had also looked at web pages about Riverscar. His father indicated that his son had been interested in the erect and sanitic artwork that had been left on the bunker walls by a cult in the 1970s. Well after the bunk had been closed, Bolin had kept the information on the drawings on a USB stick, which did not match that of his computer, and these at his college. The USB stick was not found during the search. Bowen's family insisted that a third party was involved in his disappearance to point to the fact that his car had only 3.8 litres, 0.84 and gallon of fuel in it, so would be imposed to reach Burton area without refilling. The family rescheduled a journey he undertook after his car was filled on the 1st of March 2010, determined that the car would run out of fuel at Bradton, which is 20 miles or 32 kilometres short of Burton. Bowlish's debit card had not been used, and he had very little cash on him, which the family claimed is an indicator of someone else being with Bowlish when he drove to Burton. The family also mentioned that a 300 grand payment that his father was set to give him so that he could start up a business may also be behind his disappearance. Bowlish had a speech and language disorder where, when people asked him if he was alright, he would reply yes, even if he wasn't. His family said that this makes him vulnerable. The police also think Bowlish killed himself because of the tape that they had found that he had recorded in attempt of suicide. The family were at a pain to point out that this was 3 years old tape that Bowlish had recorded when he was 15 and anxious about his exams. I also would like to add that in August to September there was some feet washed up with steel toe cap boots on, and the family were convinced it's probably his, but with more investigation on the feet, it's no link to Bowen at all. In this is it for this case. My thoughts on this that he has probably committed suicide. As there's no trace, and he had an account that he didn't use money unless he really wanted to disappear. But these days, CCTV camera we got now would probably pick him up. So yeah, I think he probably did commit suicide. what you guys thought. Um, and also, I have got a murder investigation to do. Will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. I want to put. But yeah, have a great day, folks.